So this Evergreen E-Class container ship, right? Headed straight for Long Island Sound. Must have been loaded with dreams, like a floating mattress store for the American psyche.
Dreams, you say? In this economy, the only thing floating on that ship were unpaid invoices, my dear boy. Royal, we are familiar with the shipping industry.
Baby, dreams are currency, the most valuable kind. You think those container ships are filled with just socks and shampoo? Nah, they're loaded with the sweet nectar of aspiration. It's a gold mine, I tell ya, a gold mine.
You know, I once met a sailor who swore his cargo held the secret to eternal youth. Apparently, it was a shipment of rare Hawaiian sea salt. He said it could cure anything from heartbreak to writer's block. I never did get around to trying it.
Hawaiian sea salt, huh? Sounds like something you'd find on a Long Island pizza special. Extra mozzarella, extra pineapple, extra Hawaiian sea salt for that extra something something.
Pineapple on pizza. An abomination. Royal, we would never condone such culinary barbarity. It's a travesty against good taste and the sanctity of proper toppings.
Baby, you gotta live a little. Embrace the pineapple. It's all about pushing boundaries, you know? Like this whole improv thing, it's risky, it's unpredictable, it's like a pizza with pineapple on it. Deliciously daring.
Well, I've always found the unexpected to be quite invigorating. Like that time I went skydiving with a ukulele in my hand. Pure serendipity.
Skydiving with a ukulele. Sounds like a Long Island dream. Except the ukulele's out of tune and you're tangled in the parachute like a seagull in a plastic bag.
Tangled in a parachute. The very thought is an affront to order and decorum. Royal, we simply wouldn't stand for it.
Baby, order and decorum are for penguins. We're here to live life on the edge like a rogue wave crashing on a yacht full of pineapple. See, baby, it all comes full circle.
Speaking of rogue waves, I once got caught in a sudden downpour during a concert in the Bahamas. My backup singer sprained her ankle, the sound system went out, and the audience started chanting for a refund. But I just kept singing, rain or shine, because that's what a true pop icon does.
A pop icon singing in the rain, huh? Sounds like a Long Island Tuesday night. Except the audience is a bunch of seagulls, and the rain is actually just a sprinkler system set to heavy mist.
Seagulls, a most unrefined audience. Royal, we demand a symphony orchestra. At the very least, a string quartet playing Mozart. Pineapple free, of course.
Baby, Mozart is for squares. We need something with a little oomph, you know, like a bagpipe solo, played by a penguin wearing a kilt. That's what I call pushing boundaries.
A penguin in a kilt playing the bagpipes. Sounds like something you'd find tucked away in a Long Island basement, next to a dusty bongo set and a collection of vintage lawn gnomes.
You know, I once performed in a basement in Brooklyn. It was a bit rustic, but the energy was electric. The audience was so close I could practically feel their hearts beating. It was truly magical.
Rustic. The very word is an abomination. Royal, we prefer a stage with polished marble, crystal chandeliers, and perhaps a velvet rope to separate the hoi polloi from the truly discerning.
Baby, velvet ropes are for amateurs. We need a moat, filled with alligators, and only the bravest souls get across that bridge to witness our brilliance.
Alligators in a moat. Sounds like a Long Island iced tea commercial gone wrong.
You know, I met a group of alligators once. They were incredibly eloquent. They had a lot to say about the existential angst of living in a concrete jungle.
Existential angst. Alligators. Royal, we are surrounded by imbeciles. A true artist understands the profound weight of their own existence.
Baby, angst is for the birds. We need fireworks, exploding cymbals, a tap-dancing chihuahua in a top hat.
A tap-dancing chihuahua in a top hat. Sounds like a scene from that one movie where a Long Island duck goes on a Broadway adventure. You know, the one with the catchy theme song.
A duck, a Long Island duck. Royal, we shall not be associated with such pedestrian references. We demand something more. Grand, more befitting of our stature.
You know, I once performed with a troupe of dancing penguins. They were incredibly expressive. Each movement told a story. Sadly, they couldn't quite grasp the concept of a curtain call.
Penguins? Baby penguins are adorable, but they lack pizzazz. We need something with panache, a troop of synchronized swimming flamingos in Tutus with glitter cannons.
Synchronized swimming flamingos in Tutus. You guys are starting to sound like my Aunt Mildred's bingo night. You know, the one where she insists on wearing a feathered boa and singing show tunes.
A feathered boa. Royal, we find that utterly charming. Perhaps we shall incorporate that into our performance. A boa of such magnificent proportions that it could swallow an elephant.
Baby and elephant boa, that's just too tame. We need something bigger, bolder, more extravagant. A boa made of 1,000 screaming rubber chickens.
A boa of 1,000 screaming rubber chickens. Sounds like a Tuesday night at the Long Island Expressway. Rest stop.
You know, I once met a rubber chicken who dreamed of being a fashion designer. He had such a flair for the dramatic. Always wanted to add feathers and sequins to everything.
Feathers and sequins. Royal, we shall see to it that this rubber chicken's dream comes true. We shall have a boa of such splendor, it will make the heavens weep with envy.
Baby, heaven's weeping over a boa? That's talent. We're talking Oscar-worthy stuff here. This is gonna be bigger than that time I tap danced with a live rhino.
A tap-dancing rhino. Now you're just showboating, Francis. You know, my Aunt Mildred used to do the jitterbug with a chihuahua named Elvis. She swore he had rhythm.
Elvis. I think I have a song about a chihuahua named Elvis. It's about his dreams of stardom. The sequins, the spotlight, the constant need for belly rubs between takes.
A song about a chihuahua named Elvis. Royal, we simply must hear it, darling. But first, we must decide on the color scheme for this magnificent rubber chicken boa. Perhaps a shimmering, pearlescent white, or a vibrant blood red.
Baby blood red? That's how we do it. Bold, dramatic, like a love letter to a taxidermied flamingo. We're talking show-stopping, heart-stopping, baby-kissing stopping.
You know, my Uncle Joe once tried to kiss a flamingo. Ended up with a beak full of feathers and a story he told for years.
A beak full of feathers. That sounds like the start of a beautiful ballad. You know, about a broken heart and the search for true love in a world full of birds.
Birds, you say? Royal, we have always found birds to be rather dull. They sing the same repetitive songs and build their nests in the most inconvenient places. Perhaps we shall have a boa adorned with miniature, jeweled unicorns instead.
Unicorns? Now you're talking. Reminds me of this one time I saw a guy on Long Island try to sell me a unicorn horn. Said it was from a real unicorn, but it smelled suspiciously like a carrot.
Baby carrots? We're talking gourmet, organic, baby carrots grown on the moon. You think a unicorn would settle for anything less?
A unicorn on the moon. That's a story in itself. You know, about the loneliness of space and the longing for home. A celestial ballad of cosmic proportions.
Celestial ballads, you say? Royal, we find such pronouncements utterly predictable. Perhaps a boa adorned with miniature, jeweled, grinding coffee beans. Yes, that would be quite unexpected.
Coffee beans. Now that's a new one. Reminds me of this time I was on a ferry to Montauk, and this guy next to me was grinding coffee beans in a little mortar and pestle. Started talking about the subtle notes of burnt rubber and seagull poop.
Baby, burnt rubber and seagull poop. That's art, you hear me? We're talking avant-garde, pushing the boundaries, baby. Like that time I sang opera in a hot tub full of pickled pig's feet.
A hot tub full of pickled pig's feet. A symphony of unexpected textures and savory sensations. You know, a story about finding beauty in the most unlikely places. A tale of culinary reinvention and the courage to embrace the bizarre.
Pig's feet. Royal, we find that revolting. A boa adorned with miniature, jeweled, porcelain spoons. Yes, that would be truly elegant and unexpected.
Porcelain spoons. Now you're talking, Maggie. Reminds me of this one time I was at a fancy restaurant in the Hamptons, and this woman next to me was using a porcelain spoon to scoop up her caviar. She said it was for the texture.
Baby caviar? Caviar is for amateurs? We're talking pickled herring, the kind that makes your eyes water and your soul sing. Like the time I ate a whole jar of it during a Shakespearean monologue. It was pure magic, baby.
A jar of pickled herring. The tang of brine, the salty kiss of the sea. A story of unbridled oceanic passion. You know, a tale of forbidden love between a fisherman and a mermaid, their romance thwarted by societal pressures and the inevitable fate of, well, let's just say it's a story with a strong emotional current.
A fisherman and a mermaid, you say? Royal, we find such tales tiresomely predictable. Perhaps a boa adorned with miniature, jeweled, fishing lures. Yes, that would be quite unexpected.
Fishing lures. Now that's something I can get behind. Reminds me of this time I was fishing out by Jones Beach, and this guy next to me was using a lure shaped like a miniature disco ball. Said it was irresistible to the base.
Disco ball, baby. Amateur hour. We're talking lures shaped like Fabergé eggs dripping with diamonds, like the time I caught a marlin with a lure made out of solid gold. A real trophy, baby.
A marlin, caught with a lure of solid gold. A story of ambition, of seeking the ultimate prize, of the glittering illusion that sometimes obscures the true beauty of the catch.
Solid gold, huh? Back in my day, we used to catch fish with, worms. Sometimes a good old-fashioned worm was all you needed. Reminds me of this one time I was fishing off the pier in Montauk, and
Worms, you say? Royal, we find that quaint. Perhaps a performance piece involving a troupe of highly trained earthworms synchronized swimming in a vat of caviar. A spectacle of both beauty and grotesquerie, don't you think?
Caviar and synchronized swimming, baby. We're talking haute couture earthworms adorned with tiny tiaras. And the vat, filled with nothing but Dom Perignon, baby. Pop the cork on the good life.
Dom Perignon and earthworms. Sounds like a party I can't afford to miss. Reminds me of this one time back in my old neighborhood on Long Island. We used to.
A party on Long Island. A place of both fading glamour and enduring hope, where the past lingers in the salty air and the dreams of the future shimmer on the horizon.
Royal, we deduce that this party you speak of requires ambience. A symphony of string quartets, perhaps, playing exclusively arrangements of Wagnerian operas but with an emphasis on the areas about fishing.
Wagnerian operas about fishing. Now you're talking. Reminds me of this one time I was down by the Jones Beach boardwalk, and
Baby, Wagnerian operas about fishing. That's a symphony of emotions. We gotta have backup singers, though. A whole chorus of seagulls squawking along to the high notes.
Seagulls. Their cries echo the longing for something beyond the shore. A yearning for the boundless expanse of the imagination, where even the most absurd dreams can take flight.
seagulls and Wagner. That's a sound I haven't heard before. Reminds me of this time I was at a karaoke bar in Hempstead, and
Royal, we find this karaoke bar illuminating. A crucible of raw talent and unbridled enthusiasm. Perhaps the stage could be replaced with a fleet of tiny boats, each kayak equipped with a microphone and a spotlight.
Baby, tiny boats with microphones. That's genius. We gotta have a giant clamshell as the backdrop, like a real live clamshell. And the seagulls flying in and out, macking it rain fish. This is gonna be epic.
Fish, raining down on the stage, a metaphor for the unexpected bounty of life. A reminder that even in the most ordinary of settings, magic can be found. Perhaps someone could sing a ballad about a lost anchovy.
a lost anchovy. That reminds me of this one time I was at a seafood festival in Montauk, and
Royal, we must ensure the anchovy ballad is sung with a certain gravitas. A hint of tragedy, perhaps. A yearning for the vastness of the ocean, a longing for home.
Baby, that anchovy ballad. It needs a dramatic reveal. Like the singers in a spotlight, they're singing their heart out and then, bam, a giant inflatable anchovy appears out of nowhere. The crowd goes wild. This is gold, baby, gold.
a giant inflatable anchovy. Now you're talking. Reminds me of this one time I was at a county fair in Oyster Bay, and
A county fair. Ah, the innocence of childhood, the magic of cotton candy, the thrill of the Ferris wheel. But beneath the surface, a yearning for something more, a hint of melancholy for the fleeting nature of youth.
Royal, we seem to be veering off course. Perhaps a return to the princess of all lands. A princess who collects antique seashells.
Antique seashells. You know, my grandmother used to collect those. She had this one, a big all-conch shell, and she swore it could talk if you listened real close. Said it told stories of mermaids and sunken treasure.
Baby, mermaids, and sunken treasure. Now we're talking. This princess needs a theme song, a real showstopper, something with trumpets, maybe a drum solo, and a secret message hidden in the lyrics about, I dunno, global domination. The power of the seas, baby.
A secret message. Oh, the weight of responsibility, the burden of hidden knowledge. This princess, she must carry the world on her shoulders while pretending to be just a girl lost in a world of seashells. It's heartbreaking, really.
Royal, we will have none of this melancholy. This princess is a force to be reckoned with. She commands the waves, she tames the tides, she banishes barnacles with a flick of her wrist.
Barnacles. You know, my Uncle Joe used to tell this story about barnacles. He said they were the souls of sailors who died at sea, clinging to the hulls of ships forever.
Baby barnacles. Let's give those sailors a makeover. They can be like disco barnacles, grooving to the rhythm of the deep, man, with sequins and platform shoes, the ultimate sea shanty rave.
Disco barnacles. A glimmer of hope, a beat of rebellion against the mundane. Perhaps this princess finds solace in their dance, a shared understanding of the fleeting nature of joy and the eternal rhythm of the sea.
Royal, we are not here to delve into existential dread. This princess is about action. She commands the seas, she foils pirate attacks with her wit and a well-aimed seashell. She also has fabulous hair, naturally.
Fabulous hair, eh? You know my Aunt Mildred, bless her heart, she had this wild mane of red hair. Always claimed it was because she used to swim with the lobsters. Said they dyed her hair with their carotene.
Lobsters, baby. Now we're talking crustacean couture. Picture it. The princess, rocking a lobster claw tiara surrounded by a court of shimmering shrimp. The ultimate underwater fashion show.
Royal, we will have none of this crustacean nonsense. This princess is a beacon of elegance. She navigates the high seas in a pearl-encrusted gondola, fueled by the finest seaweed smoothies.
Seaweed smoothies, huh? Reminds me of this one time in Montauk. We had this guy, Jimmy. Always swore he could make a smoothie out of anything. One time he tried blending up a whole school of anchovies.
Anchovies? Baby, now we're talking umami. The princess, she's a real foodie. She's got this secret recipe for anchovy vinaigrette drizzled over her seaweed salad, a culinary masterpiece.
Anchovy vinaigrette. The tang of the sea, the bite of the brine. A symbol of her resilience, her ability to find flavor even in the most unexpected places. A reminder that life, like a good salad, is best enjoyed with a little bit of zest.
Royal, we are adrift. This narrative needs a course correction. This princess craves adventure, not dietary whims.
Adventure, eh? You know my Uncle Tony. He used to tell this story about a time he sailed across the Atlantic in a bathtub. Said he ran into a giant squid, had to fight it off with a spork and a bag of potato chips.
A bathtub, baby? Now that's a story with legs. Picture it. The princess in a diamond-encrusted bathtub battling a kraken with a spork and a bag of gourmet potato chips. The ultimate high seas showdown.
A kraken, the embodiment of the unknown depths. But she faces it with courage, with humor, with a spork and potato chips. A reminder that sometimes the most unexpected tools can be our greatest weapons.
Royal, we shall not have a kraken. This princess is a diplomat. She negotiates treaties, not tentacles. Perhaps a visit with the Sultan of Zanzibar. He's always been quite fond of her, you know.
Zanzibar. Reminds me of this one time in Babylon. We had this guy, Benny. Always wore a fez and talked about his parrot Polly. Said Polly could solve any riddle.
A parrot, baby? Now we're talking. Picture it. The princess in a shimmering silk robe sipping jasmine tea with the sultan while Benny the parrot recites Shakespeare in a Cockney accent, the ultimate diplomatic summit.
Shakespeare, the Bard of Avon, the master of human emotion. His words echo through the ages, reminding us that even in the most fantastical settings, the heart of the story is always human connection.
Royal, we are losing precious time. Perhaps a quick detour to the moon. The lunar landscape is most inspiring for a princess seeking grand pronouncements.
The moon. You know, my grandpa used to say the moon was made of cheese. Said he once saw a giant mouse up there nibbling on it.
A giant mouse, baby? Now that's a twist. Picture it. The princess, moonwalking on the lunar surface, dodging giant cheese nibbles from a dapper mouse in a top hat. The ultimate intergalactic cheese chase.
Cheese. It reminds me of this one time at a fondue party, the chocolate fountain ran dry and everyone panicked. But then, someone brought out a giant wheel of brie and we all laughed, realizing that sometimes the best moments come from unexpected detours.
Royal, we are on a tight schedule. A cheese chase on the moon will not accelerate the diplomatic process.
Brie. My grandma used to make the best brie. She'd slice it thin, put it on this rye bread, a little fig jam. Heaven.
Brie, baby. The princess, a connoisseur of fine cheeses. Picture it. A banquet fit for a queen with brie camembert, even a pungent roquefort. The ultimate cheese-tasting extravaganza.
Cheese. It reminds me of this one time at a summer picnic. The sky was blue, the birds were singing, and we were all gathered around this picnic basket overflowing with cheese. It was pure bliss.
Royal, we are on a diplomatic mission, not a cheese tasting. Must we entertain such frivolous notions?
Diplomatic mission. You know, my grandpa used to say the best diplomats always had a little cheese in their pocket. It's a universal language, baby. Can't go wrong with cheese.
Universal language, baby. Picture it. The princess, speaking fluent cheese to the alien dignitaries. They'll be swooning over her cheddar charm, captivated by her blue Belge brilliance.
Cheese. It reminds me of this one time I was writing a song and I got stuck. Then I had a slice of cheddar, and suddenly, the lyrics flowed like melted mozzarella.
Royal, we are surrounded by lunatics. This cheese-fueled fantasy is ludicrous. Focus. The intergalactic treaty awaits.
Intergalactic treaty, huh? You know, my grandma used to say the best treaties were sealed over a good plate of pasta and a strong espresso. Maybe we should whip up some carbonara.
Carbonara, baby. A symphony of sauce, a duet of noodles. The princess, conducting a culinary masterpiece. She'll woo the aliens with her pasta prowess, and they'll sign the treaty before you can say fettuccine Alfredo.
Cheese. Pasta. It reminds me of this one time I was on tour and I got food poisoning. It was the worst. But I learned a valuable lesson. Always trust your gut.
Royal, we are discussing galactic diplomacy, not digestive ailments. This is a matter of interplanetary peace, not personal anecdotes about intestinal distress.
Intestinal distress. You know, my grandpa used to say the best way to settle a dispute was with a good all-fart contest. High stakes, baby. Winner takes all.
Fart contest, baby. Picture it. The princess, releasing a celestial symphony of toots. The aliens, mesmerized by her galactic gas, they'll sign the treaty faster than you can say bottom burp.
Cheese. Farts. It reminds me of this one time I was backstage, and there was this terrible smell. It was like someone had mixed a cheese factory with a sewer. Turns out, it was the lead guitarist's new vegan protein shake.
Royal, we are surrounded by imbeciles. This is a disaster. The fate of the universe hangs in the balance, and we're discussing flatulence.
Well, at least the aliens will have a good laugh before they blow us all to smithereens. Gotta keep it light, you know, like a Long Island sunset. Beautiful but fleeting.
Laugh. Baby, we're gonna make 'em cry. Tears of joy, tears of surrender. This is gonna be the greatest diplomatic performance the galaxy has ever seen. Like the time I conquered that karaoke bar with my rendition of My Way.
Speaking of karaoke, it reminds me of this one time I was on tour with this famous pop star, and we decided to have a karaoke night. He picked this really cheesy 80s power ballad, and I was so nervous, I forgot all the lyrics.
Royal, we are done with this. This is ludicrous. This ends now. Strikes a pose, hands on hips.
Well, you know what they say, Maggie. The show must go on. Even if the show is about to be blasted into space dust by a bunch of green dudes.
Baby, don't you see? This is our masterpiece. We're weaving a tapestry of absurdity so grand it'll make those aliens weep with laughter and beg for mercy. It's like a symphony of chaos, baby, a concerto of craziness.
It reminds me of this one time I was on stage singing. And this huge, inflatable banana flew onto the stage. The audience went wild. It was so unexpected, so funny.
Royal, we will not be mocked by fruit.
Well, Maggie, at least the aliens will have a taste for the finer things in life. A little potassium with their planetary annihilation.
Potassium? Baby, they'll be begging for a taste of everything. A 5-course banana flambe served with a side of existential dread. I'm telling you, this is gonna be legendary.
Speaking of 5-course meals, it reminds me of this one time I was backstage at a big award show, and I saw this caterer carrying a tray of the most incredible-looking desserts. There was this one chocolate mousse cake with raspberries and gold leaf. It looked like something from a dream.
Royal, we will not be subjected to further frivolous anecdotes. This is a matter of galactic proportions.
Galactic proportions, huh? Sounds like a Tuesday night in my neighborhood, Maggie. You ever seen a raccoon try to steal a pizza off a porch light? Now that's cosmic drama.
A raccoon, baby, that's amateur hour. We're talking intergalactic opera here, a saga of cosmic proportions with puppets.
Speaking of puppets, it reminds me of this one time I was performing at a children's hospital, and they had these amazing puppets that brought so much joy to the kids. It was truly heartwarming to see.
Royal, we are surrounded by imbeciles. This is a crisis, and you lot are discussing dessert and vermin.
Well, Maggie, maybe if we serenaded the aliens with a mournful ballad about the plight of the Long Island potato farmer, they'd see our point.
Baby, a ballad. Let's give 'em a show, get those galactic curtains. I'm thinking tap-dancing robots, flying bananas, and a chorus line of sentient space slugs. It's gonna be spectacular.
Hold on, wouldn't a chorus line of sentient space slugs be a bit unsettling for our intergalactic audience? Maybe we could offer them a heartwarming rendition of My Way.
Sentient space slugs singing My Way. That's like watching a seagull try to tap dance a beautiful tragedy waiting to happen.
Royal, we will tolerate no more of this ridiculous posturing. This is a matter of interstellar diplomacy, not a vaudeville act. Silence, all of you, and let the Iron Lady handle this with the gravitas it deserves.